Hello and welcome to Monday's live community conversation. And if you can't catch us live, don't worry. This is always uploaded on Facebook and YouTube, so you can catch this as a rebroadcast. So welcome. For those of you who might be new, I know our community is growing. My name is Ann Parham. I am a fasting mindset coach. I help women who are going through hormonal and seasonal changes in their body, develop an intermittent fasting lifestyle to help them look and feel their best and live their most authentic life. And today we are going to be talking about how to improve your sleep. Sleep is one of those things that as we go through, just changes in our body or changes in our lifestyle or routine, sleep is that thing that can become the most interrupted, right? And that affects so many aspects of our day. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to share with you some of the things that I have done. I am not a sleep expert. I am not a doctor, but I have definitely done some things in my everyday life and have tracked them to really figure out what works and what doesn't work and how I end up feeling in the morning when I wake up. So we're going to talk about that today. If you have any questions, always make sure you put them in the comment section. And then if you don't mind, if you're joining me from YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that like button and you leave comments. That lets YouTube, the platform, know that this is information that's relevant and interesting for us in our community, and we'll show it to more people. And the same thing on Facebook. Please make sure you've liked the page and that you're following all notifications so that you'll be notified when something gets uploaded, and then always participate in the community conversation as well. I'm here to help you maneuver this season of life the best way that we can for ourselves. Okay, so let's talk about sleep. It is the thing that, especially for us women going through perimenopause and menopause and then ending up in our last season of life, which is postmenopausal, we do have some disruption in our sleep. And oftentimes it's just the hormonal changes that are going on. And we have to figure out why it is that our sleep is feeling so off, right? And so oftentimes we jump into making a bunch of lifestyle changes and we don't consider the why. And so what happens is they end up being very short-lived, right? So we hear things on the internet, we read, someone's post and we think, okay, I'm going to go try that thing and then I'm going to go try that thing, and we end up bouncing around in advice and we don't stay in it long enough to feel the results. So what I like to really coach on is, why are you thinking that your sleep is off? Like, are you tired all day? Are you not feeling focused mentally? Are you waking up exhausted, right? So that's always a good sign that your sleep quality maybe isn't its best. If you wake up feeling exhausted, right? You should be feeling like you're rested. Are you having interrupted sleep? So are you waking up throughout the night? Are you tossing and turning? Are you having night sweats? Like, all of those kind of things are what we need to determine first so that we can find the correct solution to what it is that we are trying to undo or fix or just improve so that we can feel better throughout our day. So figure out what it is or why it is you're feeling like sleep is one of those things that you should be paying attention to. Okay. And then again, what area of your life is being affected because your sleep is feeling off, right? Is it the quality of sleep that you're getting? Is it the quantity of sleep that you're getting? So is that like a lifestyle change? You need to maybe set some clear boundaries around when you should start, turning in for the night, like setting an alarm for when you need to get up. How many hours have you determined how many hours it is that you feel you're most rested at? These are all the things that I went through to really focus on getting a better night's sleep. And oftentimes it's that quantity as well, right? So many people have their theories and advice about how much sleep we should get. And when I started tracking mine for myself, what I noticed is between 7 and 8 hours is when I am at my best. Anything more than 8 hours, if it's on like a consistent basis, I feel really groggy when I wake up. And anything less than 7, I haven't had the right amount of time to actually rest and recover from the day before. So that's something you want to be tracking as well. And then what type of sleep are you getting, right? Are you getting that deep, restful sleep where you can actually repair and recover for the next day? Are you actually entering into that REM sleep state where your brain really does have the opportunity to get that deep, restful, and reparative sleep as well? So all of these things we'll talk about also. But these are some things that you should consider before jumping into a bunch of remedies to fix something. You won't really know what to track and what to look for until you've figured this out. Like, why is it you feel like your sleep is not great? How are you feeling throughout your day? And then what areas should you focus on as far as finding the solution? Okay, so that's the first set of things we need to do. And then what we want to look at is our lifestyle. Like, what things do we have control over that we can start making some subtle changes to, and then evaluating how our morning is, or evaluating how it is we're feeling because of the sleep that we're getting, right? And so what I shared with you guys is, like, for me, 7 to 8 hours is enough time sleeping for me to feel rested and recovered from the day before. So start tracking that for yourself. When are you feeling the best in the morning, and how many hours of sleep does it take for you to get that? And then track that for probably 30 days so you can figure out when to set your boundary for when you need to start turning in for the night, and then when you want to make sure that you're getting up the next day, make sure that that time is what you're hitting. And then bedtime consistency, right? It's really important for our circadian rhythm. We talk about that a lot here with intermittent fasting and everything being done in a 24-hour window of, living your life and getting a chance to recover so that you could start your next day feeling your absolute best. And sleep is part of that circadian rhythm, right? And so you want to make sure that you're consistently, as much as possible, setting your sleep parameters up so that your body knows when it's time to rest, and your body also knows when it's time to wake, right? And once you start getting that rhythm and that pattern in, then you're going to start to notice that your quality and the feeling you have about sleeping and your restfulness is going to improve as well. So consistency is key. We also want to make sure that we're building in enough of a padding, right, with the consistency, that we can also allow for life to happen. Because the reality is, not every day is going to be able to be the exact same way, right? We're going to have weekend obligations, we're going to have social obligations, maybe you're traveling, those kind of things. So as much as you can, with what you have control over, work on that consistency aspect too, so your body knows when it's time to start to rest, and your body's going to know when it's time to wake, and then you allow for life to happen in between. You want to make sure you're getting enough water. Dehydration is one of the big components of our lifestyle considerations that we don't realize affects so many areas of our life, right? And so you want to make sure that you are getting enough water in as well. And then what I always recommend you guys know is mineralized water. So it has magnesium, potassium, calcium. You want to get enough sodium so your electrolyte balance is adequate enough for you to get through your day, and then also wind down and get a good night's sleep. So water intake is key. I always recommend 100 to 150 ounces of water. Yes, in the very beginning, it takes a little bit for your body to get used to that, but trust me, once your body is used to processing that amount of water and you're not living in that dehydrated state all the time, it will not interrupt your sleep pattern. You just use the restroom before you go to bed, and then you use the restroom when you wake up, and your body will actually be able to rest at night even with more water. Supplements that I have personally included into my life. Again, I do my minerals with my water. Magnesium is another one of those supplements that if you're having a hard time getting a good, solid night's sleep, or you're having a hard time getting to sleep, it could just be that you need to up your magnesium. There's several ways you can do that. You can do that through a magnesium supplement that you take. You can also do that through magnesium lotion, so you can use it topically. Epsom salt baths are great as well to just kind of relax your body and get you into that more restful, calm state. And then another supplement that's really good is L-theanine. L-theanine is the component in green tea that actually relaxes us and calms our mind, and it's really good for anxiety and stress and those kind of things. So maybe adding in that supplement at bedtime can be something that can help you get a more restful, like consistent night of sleep. And then the other thing that, and we talk about this a lot in my intermittent fasting community, is that last feast. It totally matters when we're considering improving our sleep quality and quantity. You want to know the time of your last feast, track that, and track how your last feast time affects how you sleep. And so you have to experiment, right? So if you're currently eating maybe later in the day and you're not having enough time between your last feast and when you go to bed and you're feeling like your sleep isn't great, back your last feast up a couple of hours. Give a bigger window between the last time you ate and when you go to bed and see if that makes a difference. You have to track this, right? So keep a nice little log so you'll know what's working for you and what's not working for you. And then the nights that you feel you really need to get that really good quality sleep, you'll want to make sure that you're scheduling in your last feast with enough time for you to have that digestive window before you actually go to sleep. So when you're sleeping, your digestive system's already done most of the work. And then what you eat matters also, right? So having for me anyway, so you can experiment with this for you, having a higher protein, higher carbohydrate meal at the end of my day really does interrupt my deep restful sleep. Having a more like a light salad with minimal animal protein on it at night and lots of fat really does help me get that deep restful, really peaceful sleep. And I always wake up the next morning feeling amazing. So again, there's not a one size fits all approach to this. You have to track things for several days and then evaluate how you feel in the morning and then find your combination of things that are going to get you what it is you say you really want. And if a full restful night of sleep and waking up the morning feeling rested and ready to face your day is what you want, then this is really going to pay off for you when you start experimenting with these things and then track them to see where you get the best night's sleep for you. Okay, a couple of other things we want to consider is our room temperature, right? The cooler, the better, especially for a lot of us who really do feel the effects of our hormones changing and those night sweats and just feeling really kind of tossy and turny in our blankets or whatever. You want to make sure that your room temperature is cool. So you figure out what that is for you. I know we have been putting our air conditioning down to about 69, 70 and keeping it pretty cool in our house while we're sleeping. We've even, taken some blankets off and changed the sheets and all those kind of things. And we're really getting some really great sleep because of just changing the room temperature and really paying attention to what it is we're putting on us when we're sleeping, just so we have a nice even body temperature throughout the night. And then alcohol consumption is the number one thing, believe it or not, that will disrupt deep and REM sleep. You have to track this to prove it for yourself. I've tracked it. I've proven it. If I have even one glass of wine at night, my sleep is just not as quality as I really want it to be. Again, it's one of those things you have to also allow time for life, right? You want to have social events. Maybe you do like to go out and have a glass of wine. That's all fine. I'm not saying that having alcohol or wine is a bad thing. I would be a hypocrite if I said that. But what we have to do is be able to make the connection from the decisions that we're making and the outcome that we're getting so we don't beat ourselves up, right? So if Friday night is the night you go out and have date night and you want to have a glass or two of wine, then you just have to understand that that night's sleep might not be your best night's sleep. And the next morning, you're going to wake up not feeling your best because you are going to just not get the same quality sleep because alcohol consumption does interrupt how restful and how calm we are in our sleep. One of the most eye-opening things when I started tracking my sleep was my heart rate, right? So when my heart rate is really low, I have a naturally low heart rate anyways, but when I'm down into like the low 40s is when I get my deepest, most restful, most energizing type of sleep for the next day. And a glass of wine pumps my resting heart rate up when I'm trying to sleep up 10 or 15 points, right? So if I'm normally like in the low 40s, if I have a glass of wine and I go to sleep, I do check my heart rate through a breathing app when I go to sleep. It could be up into the upper 50s, right? So that's when I know I'm not going to get that deep sleep and that REM sleep and that recovery sleep that I need. Again, it's okay. You can take one for the team. You can go out and you can have a glass of wine, but understanding these decisions and how they affect you will allow you to get through the next day without beating yourself up or feeling bad about how it is, you're feeling because of a decision you made. So track it so you know, and then you can kind of prepare for that. Okay, so some apps that I used when I first started tracking my sleep was the Auto Sleep app. I have an iPhone. I'll show you what it looks like. It's super easy to use. There's some settings that you can put on it. You can track your quality of sleep. You could track how long you slept. You could track your HRV. We've talked about this before. All of those things can be tracked on this app. It's really easy to use, and I think it's free or very minimal in cost. So that's a great place to start. That's where I started tracking my sleep, and I was able to tell like all of these kind of things and how they disrupted what it was I wanted to get in quality and quantity of sleep. I have since upgraded, thanks to my husband who purchased me an Aura ring for my birthday. That is this right here. And this does track sleep also. The difference between the Auto Sleep and the Aura ring as far as tracking sleep is the Aura ring does track your REM sleep, where the Auto Sleep app does not. So if you wanted to see how much actual REM sleep you're getting, then the Aura ring are getting something that's just a little bit higher up. In a sophistication of what it can track would be something like this right here. But Auto Sleep works great. I used Auto Sleep for about 2 years, did most of my research and discovery using the Auto Sleep app, and really helped a lot in the quality and quantity of sleep that I'm getting. So what's great about apps is it helps you find your patterns, right? So it helps you without you playing games in your own brain about how you're justifying things. It allows you to get the truth, right? If you do XYZ, you're going to get this result. And that's really where tracking things in an app can be really beneficial to you. They're going to give you the proof of the decisions that you're making for yourself, the bedtimes that you're going to set, what you do before you go to bed, what you're consuming in your last feast, when you drink alcohol, what happens, how much sleep you're going to need in a night to really feel rested and ready to start your day. So I highly recommend using an app if you're feeling like sleep is one of those things that could be holding you back, right? Sleep is also super beneficial for us when we are trying to do things like improve our some of the things that we have going on with our physiques, like losing body fat or losing body weight. All of those things contribute to our sleep and how well our sleep is on a consistent basis also. So getting that sleep figured out is going to be key for sure in a lot of things that we want to change for ourselves. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. This will be saved on both YouTube and Facebook. So if you want to go back and look at some of these things that I tracked, please feel free to do so. And then always feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Let me see who we have here today. We'll get some questions answered. And for those of you interested in our intermittent fasting course, this is where all of this stuff really does start. The tracking and figuring out our circadian rhythm and where we want to start with these lifestyle changes. It does happen in the intermittent fasting for today's Aging Women course. Our next course starts August 7th. If you haven't registered yet, you can get yourself registered now, or just make sure you get it on our email list. You can do that at the fortoday'sagingwoman.com/save. Ann, good morning, girlfriend. Barbara, good morning. Tracy, oops, didn't mean to hit laughing emoji. Oh, girlfriend, that's okay. Treva, I think it's not Trevia, Treva. Hello, girlfriend. Good morning. So good to have you with us. You're in our July course, right? I think you are. Trust Style 40. Howdy, my friend. Good to see you also. Patty, good morning. 7 to 8 hours for you. Yeah, 7 to 8 hours is pretty decent. We do, my shoot for 7 to 8 hours, let's see, Sunday through Saturday, or Sunday through Friday. And then Saturday night, we have a little thing in our house and we call it sleep in Sunday, and I just sleep for as long as my body needs. And one day a week of that is usually all I need. And I just kind of let my body wake up whenever it needs to wake up. And so that's nice as well. Louise, good morning, August 2020 grad. Yes, you are, girlfriend. So good to have you with us. Patty, definitely cooler is better, but our air conditioner went out this past weekend. We're waiting to get it fixed. We like the temp to be around 69, but right now it's running about 77. Yeah, that's no bueno for a good night's sleep. Hopefully that gets fixed soon. Alcohol raises my blood pressure, so I don't like to drink it as much anymore. Yeah, for sure. It's amazing when you start tracking those things, how clear it is, right? The decisions that we're making and where we're feeling the most stuck. And like I said, it's not that alcohol is a bad decision, but it does allow you to get the raw data and then allow you to make a more informed decision, right? And so if sleep is that thing that you feel like you really want to make an improvement on, then having that little truth serum is going to be the most beneficial for you. And then you just make those alcohol consumption decisions based on when you can have a day the next day where you can just rest and recover in a different way. Trust style 40, so helpful. Thank you. This is Ashley. Hey, girlfriend. I loved your course. Oh, Ashley, thanks for saying that. I appreciate you so much. And yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell between your YouTube handles and your real name. So thanks for letting me know who you are, Ashley. It's good to have you with us. And then Juanita, good morning. And then Treva, yes, I'm loving my results. Yes. So Treva, I was in a clubhouse with you. I think that's you, right? On Friday, and you were saying how you were able to take your arm bandage, or like you had a sling or something in your arm because you had some arm pain and you were able to take it off after being in the intermittent fasting class. So, intermittent fasting does so much more for us than just help us lose weight. It does help us heal our body from the inside out as well. So lots of great stories coming out of our July course. And then Patty, I'm a 2021 March grad of DYANN. I have learned so much from her and have lost 25 pounds since March. I love this intermittent fasting lifestyle. Yeah, girlfriend, you are crushing it, doing so many great things for you and your future self. And I'm always so proud to have you here in our community with us. And then Linda, just finished your class. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Love it. I'm going to send you guys all an email who just graduated from class 2 and love to get some testimonials from you guys. And then Treva, knee support is gone. Yes. You guys, great lifestyle, right? We just need to take some time to, like I said, do some planning, do some tracking, so we can start putting the pieces to the puzzle together and make very informed decisions for ourselves. There is a lot of advice out there for us, and oftentimes, like I said, we bounce around taking little pieces of advice, and then we don't stick with it long enough to put the pieces together. So make sure you do what we talked about first, right? Why is it that you feel like your sleep is off? Do this first. Then you could figure out what areas that you want to start focusing on so that you can break some of this stuff down, see what you need to add in, see what maybe you already have going, and that's not going to be a problem for you. Simple changes you can make, right? Then we just want to make sure we have a way to track it. If you don't necessarily want to use an app to track your sleep, you can also just make notes in a journal, right? And just like maybe keep a little bit of a food log, maybe keep a little bit of an activity log, keep if you have a smartwatch these days or Fitbit or anything like that, you can get your resting heart rate when you go to bed. My husband and I on our watch, we also do the Breathe app, which just comes with the I'm gonna see if I can pull it up so you guys can see it, which just comes with our phone. I think it's only on my watch. And we just lay in bed for 5 minutes and breathe, like just really relaxing breath, and see what our heart rate is when we go to bed. So it gives us the time to just calm ourselves down and just kind of meditate for 5 minutes. So a breathing app works, sleep apps work, all of those things. So you can just start getting data and then make changes with your lifestyle based on what your body is doing currently and then where you want it to go. Super, super helpful for sure. Tanya, morning. My issue is waking up 3 to 4 times a night. I use Aura Ring, and lately my resting heart rate and body temp have been elevated. Okay, so track what it is you're doing in the day, Tanya, for sure. So keep like a log of what you're doing in your last feast and see if it's maybe that, right? Like maybe you're not getting enough time for your body to digest what it is you're putting in it. The other thing is caffeine is another one of those things. If you have coffee, take a break from coffee for a week or two and see if that might help you as well. Oftentimes, especially if we're living an intermittent fasting lifestyle and our body is really good at generating its own internal energy sources, and then you add caffeine into that, you're actually over caffeinating, right? Even just with 1 cup of coffee, because your body's efficient at producing its own energy. So take a look at all of those things as well. Add some magnesium in, and maybe the L-theanine. It might be something that you can add in as well. So do some research on that and see if that might add some changes for you as well. What I like about L-theanine, the supplement versus the tea, is that I can just have a supplement. I don't have to make a tea or any of those kind of things. And then Tanya, I think trying to lower protein and carbs with higher fat at evening meal will be a good place to start. January 2021 grad and current midlife mindset shift. Yeah, Tanya, for sure. And then we'll work on that in the mindset shift as well. Reducing that animal protein. And so you don't have to go no protein, right? So what I ended up doing is just splitting a protein serving with my daughter. She doesn't like a whole lot either. So instead of having an entire salmon fillet, we split it in half. Instead of having 1 chicken breast, oftentimes we'll just split it in half. And then I up my fat with avocado, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, avocado oil, olives, those kind of things. You can get a really nice, flavorful bowl of vegetables. It doesn't have to be a salad necessarily, but just lots of fresh, crispy, colorful vegetables loaded with a bunch of fat will definitely help as well. You'll get a really great night's sleep. But Tanya, practice changing one thing at a time until you can identify the area where you're seeing the most significant improvement. And then you can start cutting out the areas that you kind of think are going to be problematic for you or keep you from what it is you say you really want. If you change too many things at one time, you won't be able to pinpoint and find that missing piece that you're looking for. So track it and just do one thing at a time. Okay, that's it for me today, you guys. Thanks so much. I hope this helps you start, right? Start tracking some things, start looking at how it is your evening or afternoon are going. See if there's some things that you can switch around, track things that you're changing to see if that's the missing piece for you. And then before you know it, you're going to be getting some really great sleep, and you're going to wake up in the morning looking and feeling your best and living your most authentic life for sure. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you're liked here on Facebook. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. Always feel free to leave me comments. I love having this conversation time with all of you, and I appreciate you spending some time with me on this beautiful Monday morning. I'll see you guys back here on Thursday.